Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Lecha. The Parsha really, here we go, the beginning of the Jewish people. Lecha mi'atzko, God tells Avraham Avinu, you should go. Well, I'm sort of in that mode right now of where we're moving and sort of disconnected, Baruch Hashem, by the incredible kindness and chesed of friends of ours. We have at least a place to stay until we finish the move, and that's why you might not recognize the backgrounds. But in Yiush Hashem, next week the internet will be up and we'll be back in the regular place. So the pasuk tells us in the Parsha Yiush Avraham ki nishba echav, that Avraham Avinu hears that his brother-in-law was taken captive. Yorek chanichov, he mobilized his chanichov, his students, Yilidei Beisel, Shmeina Asar v'Shalosh, 318 of them, Shalosh Meos, Vayurdov Adon, and chased them in order to be able to go and to recapture Lavan and to be able to recapture Lot, and to be able to bring him home. So Rashi says that what's the language of Chanichav when it says he took his servants, took his students, took the people of his house, right? He put together 318 of them. What was that lashon of Chanichav? So Rashi explains that it's from the lashon, it's from the language of chinuch, of education. And Rashi says something so amazing. Rashi says shechanchu lemitzvos, that they were initiated to mitzvos. V'hu lashon has chalas knisas ha'adam. This is a language of the beginning of the entrance of a person, o kli, or of a vessel, le'umnus shu asid la'amud, to the task that it is going to in the future going to be able to last in, that it is going to be able to maintain. That kegon chanach lenar, like we find the word chinuch used by chanach lenar, that you have to teach a child, or chanukas hamizbeach, or the chanukah of the mizbeach, or the chanukas habayis. It's a language of the beginning of the entry of a person or a vessel to a future use that they are going to be destined to maintain. A future use that they're going to be destined to maintain. And with that simple explanation of the word chanichav, the people that Avraham Avinu gathered together, Rashi is telling me something that is so phenomenal, and the Torah is teaching me something that's so amazing. And that it's teaching me that what is the goal of chinuch? That the goal of chinuch is instilling in our students a love of learning that's going to put them on the path of lifelong learning, a love of Torah and its values that they're going to want to make to be a part of their lives. Unfortunately, most of the education that we do is that we teach information, we teach things, we teach academics. We go over things, we make sure that we cover a certain amount of pages, we have to do a certain amount of syllabus, we have things that we have to get through in order for them to be able to know. But we're not being mechanech, our students. We're not really setting them up and entering them into a future that their future use that they are going to be destined to maintain. And that's why very often it's so difficult for them to hold on to it in the future, because we haven't given them those tools at the very beginning. We haven't given them that foundation of loving what they're doing and of making sure that it is instilled in them in a way that this is something that is going to keep going. It's something that's never going to fade. It's something that's never going to just disappear. What's one of the main things that Avraham Avinu had instilled in his students to ensure that they would have this lifelong sense of connection and this desire to want to have this as part of their lives? What was one of the main things that Avraham Avinu gave them, from which they could generate that excitement and enthusiasm and all the other things that have to be generated? Certainly a belief in God, and certainly a belief in the knowledge that this is something that's important and valuable and critical. But they needed a midah, they needed a characteristic in order to be able to ensure that this would be a lifelong pursuit. So take a look again at that pasuk. The Medrash says that when Avraham Avinu set up 318 of his students the Vayorich Chanichav Yilidei Beso, Shmoina Asar V'Shalosh Meos, 318, that was really referring to Eliezer. And that he had set up 318 students. Says the Medrash, he did exactly what you're supposed to do when it comes to war. He set them up, and then he said that anybody who built a house, anybody who got married, anybody who planted a field can go home from the war. Anybody whose heart is soft, anybody who's afraid of battle or afraid of their own sins can go home from war. And every single person left except for one, except for Eliezer. And that's conveyed to us in the number 318, that he set up 318, Keneged Eliezer, but left, all of them went home, and the only thing he was left with was 318. He was left with Eliezer. And Eliezer, the Gematria, the numerical value of Eliezer's name, is 318. Still, you could have just told me that the Torah was trying to convey that he set up his students, and the only student that was really worth anything in the end was Eliezer. Could have told us that. Could have just said that he set up Chanichav Yilidei Beso Eliezer. What you have to tell me the number 318? And why do we even care there was 318? It could have been 7,954 at the end of the day. Who was left? Eliezer was the one that was left. Why is the number important? So Tzadok points out something amazing. If Tzadok says that Avraham Avinu, no matter what happened in his lifetime, no matter the difficulties that Avraham Avinu suffered, no matter all the shocking things that happened in Avraham Avinu's life, right through to the very end, right through to the death of Sarah Takedas Yitzchak, all those crazy things that took place to him, Avraham Avinu never suffered from one thing. Never suffered from Yiush. Never suffered from despondency, from despair, from giving up hope. He never lost hope. And that's a yesod. It's a foundation for us Jews. That even when a sharp sword, a sharp blade is sitting on the neck of a person, we're not allowed to give up hope. There's no room for Yiush. There's no room for despair, for despondency. What's the numerical value of the word Yiush? 370. Avraham Avinu set up 318 students. He set up that they should never have Yiush, that they should never give up hope. He inculcated in his students, he inculcated in Chanichav, that there should never be a sense of despair. And that's what made it possible for them to hold on to everything forever. It's what he gave Eliezer, that 318. It's what he gave his students, that 318. That one step beyond Yiush, that sense that there's no reason to lose hope, that I can't give up, that it's all going to come right. And when you have that sense of confidence, when you have that sense of strength, when you have that sense of hope, so then the messages that you learned as a child, as they become more difficult to keep and to live by as you grow up, you have the strength to be able to continue on with those. Ein shum Yiush ba'olam. There is no Yiush in this world. There is no room for giving up. And that's Chanichav. Chanichav, chinuch, is the beginning of the entry of a person or a vessel to a future use that they will be destined to maintain. Then no matter what comes their way, no matter how difficult it becomes, no matter how challenging it becomes to be a good person and to maintain truth and to maintain ethics and values and morals, they never give up. That's what we have to give them at the very beginning. at the very foundations, the love of what they're doing, the excitement of what they're doing, feeling how fortunate they are to have it, and giving them the strength to hold on to it forever and never coming to Yiush. It's what Avraham Avinu gave his students, and it's what Avraham Avinu gave every future Jew. That understanding, Ein Shum Yiush Ba'olam. There can't be despair. You fall down, you have a challenge, it's a little difficult, just keep pushing. Because there is always hope, and therefore there will always be success. My bracha to everyone is that we should be like the students of Avraham. We should have that ability to be 318, to be beyond Yiush, beyond despair, and constantly put our hope and our faith and our confidence in ourselves and in the Ribbon Shalom. And remember, when you hit those moments that you're not sure of yourself, know that there's something in this world that is sure of you. And that's the Master of the universe. He never gives up hope in us. He never despairs. He never becomes despondent. Take that, continue to push, to take all those messages of your youth, all those foundations of your life, and to continuously build on them, and to build a structure of your life that is truly a Shem and a Tiferes, that is truly something magnificent. Have a wonderful and beautiful Shabbos.